Welcome back to another Throne and Liberty Guide. I'm Dums, and today we're taking on one of the most intense dungeons yet, the Cave of Destruction. This dimensional circle dungeon may seem straightforward, but do not be fooled. Only the brave can conquer the powerful Lequirus and her swarm of deadly allies. To get started, hit Escape, select Co-op Dungeons, and choose Dimensional Circle from the menu on the left. Once you select the Cave of Destruction, you'll see a list of the expected rewards on the right, along with the percentage drop chances. This dungeon offers some excellent loot, including the Bracers of the Primal King and the Supreme Devotion Cloak, among others. Just remember, it costs 300 dimensional contract tokens to open the chest at the end. You'll need to be level 50 and have at least 1600 combat power just to step inside, plus a solid strategy and teamwork to make it out alive. So, hit Party Matchmaking, choose your role, and then hit Request Matchmaking. Now, be careful. The matchmaker here seems to be designed to induce epileptic fits. I'd actually recommend looking away from the screen for a couple of seconds, while all the dinging sounds go off. Once that's over, hit Accept, and let's hop straight into the dungeon. Alright, once you spawn in the dungeon, hit that enter button to open the chat and say hi to the team. Good courtesy never hurts. Welcome to the first cave. As you make your way through this initial area, you'll encounter a whole variety of ants. It's basically an ant buffet in here. First, be on the lookout for the explosive ants. These guys pack an AoE punch upon death, so make sure to block and avoid taking them down near your teammates, or you'll risk getting everyone caught in the blast. Then we have the acid ants, which will shoot acid at you. A pretty unpleasant experience, to say the least. And finally, we've got the charging ants. They leave a trail of acid behind them as they charge forward. Jimi Hendrix would love that. The goal here is simple. Clear out these pests to proceed to the next cave. So go ahead, butcher these insects, and let's move forward. Alright, the first cave is clear. Nice job. Now, as we head into the second cave, things start to get a bit more challenging. You need to kill the insect mobs quickly, as this will spawn the Princess Ant. Once she appears, this ant brings a few mechanics that you'll need to manage carefully. First, she will spit acid, which you need to avoid to prevent taking continuous damage. That's not all. She'll also target players with larvae. When she shoots larvae at players, it places an orange larvae around their necks to prevent the larvae from exploding and causing significant damage and a stun effect. The affected players must come into contact with another teammate. This contact transfers the larvae to the other player and changes its color to green, indicating it's been neutralized. It's crucial to keep an eye on your teammates and be ready to move in close when they get targeted. Alright, this is the last cave before we face the boss. In this cave, you'll notice several poison testicles scattered around. Your first objective is to attack these poison testicles until they explode, but be ready. Once they pop, a swarm of ants similar to those from the previous cave will spawn. Take down these ants quickly before they can overwhelm your team. Focus on managing the explosive ants and the acid shooters, as they can deal serious damage if left unchecked. After clearing these enemies, a giant acid testicle will appear, partially covered by rock. But it's not alone. Poisonous worker ants will spawn alongside it, and they're linked directly to the giant acid testicle. You need to kill these worker ants as soon as possible to break the links and make the acid testicle vulnerable. Be careful though. Other ants from the cave will try to interfere, making it even more challenging. Keep your focus and have your team deal with these distractions quickly. Once the links are down, focus all your firepower on the giant acid testicle and destroy it. And just when you think you're done, the mutant giant acid ant will spawn. This big guy is the last hurdle before the final boss fight, so make sure you're prepared for another tough battle. Alright, now that we're facing this dude, there are just a couple of mechanics to watch out for. First, keep an eye out for his acid spit attack. This attack leaves acid puddles on the ground, which deal damage over time if you stand in them, so make sure to move out of those areas quickly. The other attack is his fury attack. This one is pretty straightforward. You can block it easily, so stay prepared and don't let it catch you off guard. And that's it for this guy. Once the mutant giant acid ant is down, we're all set to move on to the final boss, Lequirus. Alright, let's go over the mechanics before diving into the fight. As you enter the arena, you'll notice 3 large mushroom-like rock pillars, each topped with an orange testicle. To summon the boss, you'll need to, willingly or unwillingly, tickle each of these testicles briefly. Once they are all tickled, Lequirus will be very pleased and will come all over the arena, but mainly in the middle. This signals the start of the fight, so let's jump straight into the mechanics. If Lequirus is aggroed onto a ranged party member, it will use, and keep using, a massive AoE attack that damages all party members, no matter where they are positioned. This attack can cause significant harm to the group, and must be avoided at all costs. To counter this, the player with aggro should immediately move into melee range to prevent the AoE attack from triggering. Tanks should be ready to take back aggro if it shifts to a ranged player. Now that we've covered the initial aggro mechanic, let's move on to another important mechanic involving blue and red ants. These ants will spawn throughout the fight and can stun you if their fury attacks connect, so make sure to dodge or interrupt their attacks. You'll notice blue or red domes appear on the field. When the first dome shows up, 2 ants will spawn. After the second tank buster, 3 more ants will appear. Killing an ant of the same color as the dome creates an area that provides all players standing in it with a buff lasting 45 seconds. This buff allows you to safely enter the dome of that color. To handle this phase, wait for the second wave of ants, then focus on killing the ant that matches the dome's color. Ensure everyone is nearby when it dies, so the whole group gets the buff. Without it, players will struggle to complete the mechanic. When Lequirus says a specific dialogue, everyone must move into the dome and stand at the center. If you don't have the buff, you'll need to quickly climb onto one of the mushroom-shaped pillars. Inside the dome, a central pillar will rise, lifting you above the arena. Lequirus will then cast a powerful AoE attack that destroys the pillar and kills anyone still in the middle. Successfully completing this mechanic grants your group a large attack buff. After Lequirus destroys the pillar, a gem ant will spawn on one of the nearby platforms. Use your flight ability to quickly reach the ant and defeat it. This will force the boss to land, allowing the fight to continue. Now, let's go through Lequirus's final mechanic, the larva phase. Lequirus will signal this phase with a distinct voice line, then shoot larvae that latch onto each player. Here's how to handle it effectively. Each player will have a larva around their neck. Find another player with a larva and move close to them. This will merge the 2 larvae into one. After merging, the 2 players should move toward the remaining teammates to collect their larvae as well. If done correctly, only 2 players will experience the knock-up effect, minimizing disruption and damage to the group. Alright guys, now that we've covered all of Lequirus's mechanics, you're fully prepared to take on this formidable boss. So let's waste no more time and jump straight into the fight. Alright, you've nuked Lequirus and mastered a fight that in hindsight feels oddly similar to another dungeon encounter. I hope this Throne and Liberty guide helped you secure your victory today. If you enjoyed this guide, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. So remember, like, subscribe, and tickle those nuts.